by the way, this is recorded in Bedrock Edition, if it wasn't obvious from the selecting stuff. So if you're trying to do this in Java Edition, it will not work. Bedrock Edition is all platforms except for the one you normally get on computer, which would normally be the Java Edition, but you can get Bedrock Edition on your computer like I have. That means if you have it on Xbox or Nintendo Switch or your phone, all of those are Bedrock Edition. Here's how to set up a world if you just want to test commands. You're going to set your game mode to creative, leave all this alone, and then change this to flat. Or you can have it infinite, but like I prefer to keep it as flat because it's easier to test stuff on and make giant structures easily. And then you want to have show coordinates, that's really important. And then if you don't want people to like try to do annoying stuff, like explode all your stuff and annoying stuff like that, you should turn off these. You want to turn on immediate respawn and change the respawn radius to 0. That means you'll always spawn right at the respawn point. You want to turn on keep inventory, turn off daylight cycle, and turn, or any way you want. But like you don't have to turn this off, it's just easier to see. And then you turn off these. You can keep mob grafing on if you're fine with creepers exploding stuff, but mob spawning keeps anything from spawning, so it's not like a crowded world the entire time. You want to turn off weather cycle so that there's no rain. That's how you set up your basic world. We're gonna start pretty simple. So we're gonna start with coordinates. We can ignore all this for now. What we want to pay attention to is these tildes, or these squiggly marks. They're known as tildes. A tilde represents coordinates from where you are. Your basic coordinates are up at the top corner. You see it where it says position. And so you see if we have squiggly, 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 or tilde, 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 it's your x coordinate from where you are, your y coordinate from where you are, and your z coordinate from where you are. If I were to do this, I'd be selecting a block right above me. If I were to do this, it would select a block on to the side of me. This would also select a block on the side of me. This and this would also select a block to the side of me. You just have to figure out which way is which. So with the clone command, which is probably the first one I should show you, I'm telling it to find these first two coordinates are the corners of the block. So if I have squiggly 1 and squiggly 1, that means it finds the corner, which is here, 1 above it. You see right there on the second squiggly, and then 1 above it too. So it has both the corners selected only on the trapped chest. Then I have this other one to tell it where to clone the area it just found too. So if I want to clone it this way over here, I would look at my coordinates and then see which one changes. You see the last one changes by -2. You put -2 at the very end, so you see X, Y, and Z, like your X, Y, and Z. So you put Z right there, -2. And this is how you make an infinite chest. I'll show you in better detail. You see a trapped chest, a repeater, into this command. This will be different each time, depending on your coordinates that you're using. You see, you gotta make sure you look at the coordinates to find how it will work. And then you put something in the top chest, the stuff you want to clone, and then you open up this bottom chest, and it'll clone it here. You can see, it never will run out. And if I put 3 arrows in here, I get 3 arrows out of here. If I put 3 arrows back into here, it'll go back to 3 arrows. Basically what this is doing is it's taking an output from this chest and going into this command, which tells it to move this block down here. It's pretty simple. So, that's the clone command and the disclaimer and the intro and how to set up your world out of the way. Now, let's get on to the first command. The first command we're going to do is the give command, and it's pretty simple. So, how do you start, how do you type the give command? Just, you press slash button if you're on computer, or how you enter chat and then you put a slash, and give, and then you see all these things will pop up on the side, and it'll say what it is. At A, all players. At E, all entities. At P, closest player. At R, random player. At cell S, yourself. And then you have the player names. You usually don't want to use a player name because it will only work for that one player, so it doesn't usually end up so good. So what I like to do is at S, when most people normally would like to use at P, but if someone's running right past you as you're typing in the command, they'll also get they'll take the stuff and you won't get anything sometimes, so it's weird. So at S, make sure you get yourself. You get it yourself. And then you see this big list of stuff, ... You can give yourself anything. So if I wanted to do iron, you see iron underscore sword. You have to have the underscore or else it will be the wrong format and no capitals. If I do that, I give myself one iron sword. You see, then it has a mount and then data. You don't need to use the data right now. I'll probably explain that in another video. Part 2 of this. So if I want 2 swords, I just put 2 and I get 2 iron swords. So if you want to get a command block, it's pretty easy. You just write command underscore block. You can press tab if you're on computer and it will quickly fill in the thing that's one of these. So if I have COMM, I can get command block, a command block mark cart, a chain command block, a repeating command block. You just want the normal command block because it could be changed into the other types later. I already had a command block, so it's gonna be weird like that. And that's how you give yourself a command block. So you can see, now we're going on to the command block. Command block. And there's this, impulse, chain, and repeat. You can choose any of these, like if it's a repeat, and I turn it on, I'll get a lot of command block, swords, shut up. And you see down here, actually, this should probably be 0. I messed up, so it's like weird. You see, it will give me a lot of iron swords. So, let's repeat. And chain, I'll show you in a second. Just need to get rid of iron swords. So then you have delay and ticks, and that can be set to 10. And then there's going to be a 10 tick delay between when I get my iron sword. That should be impulse. You see, there's 10 ticks, and then I get it. So, that's how that's how the delay and ticks works. The next thing there is the needs redstone. Always active isn't too good with impulse. You should use need redstone if you're using an impulse, and unconditional because this is just how it is normally, but this is normally 0. So now I'm going to show you how to use the chain. The chain one's the most complicated, although it's very, very useful. So you have impulse, right? And then you change this second type to chain, and then always active. You see, you have to make sure the arrows on the command block are facing into each other, like this, or else it will not work. So if it's like this, then you're ready to just start command blocking. So if I wanted to do /give at P, iron sword. By the way, the reason why I use at P in this is because if I do at S, it will not know where to give it to, because it's executing at the command block. So if it's at S, then it'll try to give itself a sword, and blocks can't give themselves anything, so that won't work. So then I can put a second command in here, /give at S, diamond axe. Oh, as you can see, that's what happens if you use at S. You see, when I flick that, I get an iron sword and a diamond axe. The thing that's really nice about the chain command block is that it does it in order, so it does one and then another. So if I do this, it gives me the iron sword first and then that diamond axe. So that's really, really useful if you're trying to do commands. But if you see, there's another thing called condition. So if I turn it on to conditional and then mess up this command by doing that, it will not give me anything. That's because the conditional means this one below it has to work, or else it won't work. So that's how that works. Makes sense. Next we have the setblock command. As you can see, it's the tildes again. So I'm telling it right now to put it 2 blocks above itself. 2 blocks above the command block. That should work like this. There's clearly a block 2 blocks above. And that's pretty simple. It's the same sort of selector thing except with blocks. So if I want a diamond ore, I flick this, and now I have diamond ore. So if I do this for peak though, this is what's neat. I have an unbreakable block. There's a better way to do this where you can have a whole wall with only one command, and I'll show you that in a second. The next one we have is the summon command, and that's right over here. This one's pretty easy, as it's just /summon and then whatever you want to summon. So if I want to summon an armor stand, /summon, armor stand. If you want to summon a thing with a name, you can type in a name like hello, and then you'll summon an armor stand with the name hello. Or if you want it to be summoned 10 blocks above you, you can put tildes and 10 blocks above you. The name does not have to be there, so if you remove where the name would be, you can just do tilde, 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 10 blocks. It'll spawn up high and it'll still work. So if you put it in a command, it's pretty easy, /summon vect tilde1. And there you go, you got a bat. I guess he's just gonna chill. Have a good command. It's a really, really nice one. This one's pretty useful. And this one's gonna take a while to explain. These are supposed to be in order of easiest to hardest. Well, clone's pretty difficult and annoying, but like, shut up. So, /fill's really, really nice, because you can do /fill, and then tilde, tilde, or tilde, 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 tilde. By the way, if there's spaces between the tilde, it doesn't really matter. You can have no spaces or spaces, just as long as you don't have no space right here. So if you have no space right there, it won't work. But you can have spaces here or no spaces there. Let's say I want to fill 1 block above me of stone. Because you see, I picked 1 block above me and then 1 block above me again. And then I have a stone ore 1 block above me. By the way, for some reason, it thinks you're the block bottom half on you. So like, the bottom half of me would be where it thinks I am. So if I were to do 1, 2 though, because this one's trying to select a corner, I have 2 blocks. This does have a limit though, you can't make it infinitely big. But if you were to do /fill, squiggly, 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 or tilde, 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 10, squiggly, 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 1, space, stone. Then watch this. A big stone pillar. You can actually even make an unbreakable stone pillar if you do this. And, by the way, if you get annoyed by the stupid 1 blocks filled thing right on the side, I'll show you how to fix that in a second. That's that, and then, but there's also other things you can do. Like, let's say I do this, and then, tile data, which just put to 0, and that's any type of stone block, like the weird stones too. And then you see there's these 3 options. So I can make it hollow. For example, if I do 3 and nothing there, hollow, it'll create, or it won't create anything, but not do that. And 3, it'll create, 1 second, I'll get it one day, guys. It'll create a hollow block. You see, it's hollow on the inside. Break all that. But then there's also replace. So then you can pick a specific block to replace. So if I pick air, then, or if I do actually completely remove these and make this -4, you'll see it goes into the ground, but it doesn't actually, even though if I were to do it up in the air, it would fill a block that does go deeper down. So, and then you have destroy. This is the last one you'd probably need. And then that's pretty simple. So, if it replaces blocks, it destroys them, and is like you mine them with a normal pickaxe. So, for example, if I made this instead of stone, air, 0, destroy, and turn this on, it mines the blocks, a 10-player block above it, constantly. That was the /fill command. And then finally, we have the hardest one. I need a snowball for this one, because, yeah. So, if you go into here, you see it's a pretty long command, and it has quite a lot of stuff in it. It has execute, @E, type equals snowball. Squiggly, 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 fill, squiggly, 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 2, squiggly, 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 wool, 0, replace air. You can see, like, there's some things that we saw last time, such as the command fill, and it's just the normal fill command. But what you see differently is that this weird thing, @E, and then these square brackets, type equals snowball. These are not that complicated. So if I wanted to summon, or if I wanted to kill all items, but not all entities, like watch this, if I have husk. I like husks because they're zombies, except they don't get burned in the daylight. Let's say I wanted to kill @E, and I just wanted everything to die. That'd be fine. But let's say I wanted only items to be killed. What I could do instead is, wait, I also need a husk to demonstrate. What I can do instead is put these square brackets, and then you see there's these that show up. If you press type in, you can select a specific type of entity. So if it's an item, I put in here, then it kills only the items. If I were to do husk, it kills the husk. I'll probably make a whole another video about the selectors, but all you need right now is the entities. So you see, we're executing the entity as snowball. A lot of stuff are entities that usually move, like projectiles are all entities. So like even an ender pearl. So execute lets you execute a command at a specific entity, or at any entity. But we're picking a specific entity. So we're executing at all snowballs, right? Because we did the selector. And then we have to have the tildes, because it's saying from where the snowball is, the command. So if I do 10, then it's going to execute the command 10 blocks above the snowball. But then I have fill, and then squiggly, 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 squiggly. And then I have 2s in the middle columns, which would be 2 above it, right? And then wool, 0, replace air. Hopefully, if you've watched the whole thing, you can probably guess what this is gonna do. And it does this. It makes a long line of wool behind the snowball. So if you're really annoyed by that stupid long line of words, you just do /game rule, command block output, false. And also, game rule, send command feedback, also false. Then you won't get any feedback at all, and you can do all of your commands without annoying feedback. So, that was it for this video. Also, my other video, if you want to learn how to make custom boss fights, I can show you how to do that next if the video gets 20 likes. Like, big and epic. Shut up.